Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about the ISTA SIOC with the FFP and the PFP with the T3. So let's start all of that over. As we talked about in a previous video, SIOC, or ships in its own container, is part of Amazon's frustration-free packaging programs. We're going to talk about another component to that today, the Tier 3 or PrepFree packaging. So as we talked about, frustration-free packaging programs are a series of certifications that basically proves that you can survive Amazon's network without additional protection or prep from Amazon. And what is prep? Prep is things like bags, bubble wrap, tape. Sorry, I'm just gonna fix this tape dispenser while I have it. Whatever they'd have to try and do with a limited amount of packaging materials to get your item to survive. Brands pay Amazon to do this additional work and additional prep. And it's typically not cheap, and it's not preferred by Amazon to have to do this. So this tier was created to say that the item is coming to Amazon already tested to survive. So with any test, we have to talk about the test. Here we go. This is actually heavy. So Amazon partnered with the International Safe Transit Association, or ISTA, a few years ago to develop a couple of tests. This test is called the Overbox Test. It's the ISTA 6 Amazon Overbox Test. It is basically a test that says if you have an item of this weight, it goes in this size overbox, and there's a series of overboxes that you would pick, and then based on the weight of the item, you put in a series of test dummies. These are very simply dimensional blocks that are of a certain weight. And your item goes into a box with a series of these dummy objects and then a little bit of void fill. And it goes through a series of rigorous tests. So it's dropped like 17 times and shaken for a couple of hours, all to try and simulate the process of being handled, fulfilled, thrown on a truck, shipped, all that stuff. If it survives that test, hopefully we've proven and the data will show that the object will survive in Amazon's network. So unlike Tier 2, Tier 3 does not have to ship in its own container. If we look at something like this tray of mason jars, why is this missing a lid? It's not dimensions that would force it to go SIOC. This can go overbox. But we just can't stick this in a box and expect it to survive. These jars are gonna be banging together and crashing, and really any impact on the top of these jars is likely going to break them. So there has to be So something has to be done to this packaging of this to get it to survive, even though it is going into an Amazon overbox. That's not going to be enough. So objects in Tier 3 do not have a minimum dimensional requirement. It is really just about getting them to survive. And so if you want to know more information about this, you can go to our site, fusionio.com, and stay tuned for future videos.